and welcome to the SciFirst MovieTalk episode. In this episode, I'll be discussing Disney and Pixar's 10th movie released together, the 2009 animated adventure movie, Up, as directed by Docter. So, this is a movie, it's an original creation, I believe, and continues in Pixar's grand traditions, being simply stunning, and totally timeless, presenting one of their very, very best works, being a very tender and warm homage to a life well lived, but with a dream unfulfilled, but also to a new chapter in life with wondrous adventure and some old school exploration across the world and into our hearts. In the movie, we see the meeting of two absolute soulmates, Carl, as voiced by Jeremy Leary, and Elie, as voiced at that moment in time by Elizabeth Docter, the daughter of the director. They're both childhood sweethearts whose love for each other was only matched by their shared sense of and love for adventure into the unknown. We follow them through their key moments in life in a real beautiful and sensitive and very heartfelt but yet very heartbreaking montage of the moments they shared and experienced together as they grew old in the house they made a home. Now old and alone, Carl, or Mr. Fredrickson, now voiced by Asner, is clinging on to the memory of his dear sweet wife and remains the only resident not to have sold their home to a property developer building skyscrapers in the area. After a brushing with the law and court-ordered to leave his home and spend basically the rest of his life in a retirement village, Carl takes it upon himself to fulfill his and Ellie's lifelong dream once and for all. To live atop of the mysterious and tranquil Paradise Falls in South America. And does so by turning his house and all of their belongings into an airship of all things with the help of hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of helium-filled balloons. The only thing is, a young scout by the name of Russell, as voiced by Jordan Nagai, has accidentally hitched a ride, being sent previously to find a mysterious creature known as the Snipe by Carl, in an effort to make Russell leave on a wild goose chase, if you like, and basically leave Carl alone. But Russell follows basically a rat back to the house by mistake, thinking that's a snipe, all in an attempt to attain his Assisting the Elderly merit badge, the last one he needs to become a senior scout. The two soon then find themselves on an adventure like no other and a journey of discovery in order to get Carl and Ellie's house to Paradise Falls, as he and Elie had so long since desired. Teaching us to dream big, live for the moment and seize new opportunities, whilst appreciating all those that had kind of gone before us, the film takes some amazing twists and turns as we meet Charles F. Muntz, that's it, as voiced by Christopher Plummer. Basically Carl's adventurous childhood hero who mysteriously never returned from an expedition after being discredited as a fraud many years ago. Then we also meet Kevin, an exotic bird affectionately named and befriended by Russell, and Doug, a dog as voiced by Bob Peterson, basically a dog able to talk by way of a special collar. So, simply put, this is a mesmerising piece of cinema which mixes a number of different styles to create something of a visual and emotional treat, if I'm honest, and will tug at your heartstrings for sure, and make you hold onto your loved ones so close. It stirs up some very sentimental feelings, especially at the start, but also as the film progresses and we do follow our two protagonists on their journey of self-discovery. It mixes together quite a few number of different styles, if you like, from classic movies such as the likes of the 1960 movie The Lost World. It's kind of got that feel to it. And indeed, the Indiana Jones movies, definitely. 1996's James and the Giant Peach, there's some of that in there, and even the phenomenal 1939 movie The Wizard of Oz, with some very old, good, kind of old-school charm and real kind of old-school adventure dashed with Pixar's kind of charm and finesse. It is a film that showcases two sides of the same coin. So, and the kind of interwoven remarkably well with some absolutely beautiful and very vibrant animation and a soundtrack as composed by Michael Giacco, who in terms of Pixar had previously penned the exceptionally romantic Parisian music for their 2007 feature Ratatouille, bringing together something to the screen here in this movie which is truly heartfelt, heartwarming and totally inspired. A sound and theme now instantly recognisable as Pixar. So the first side of the coin, if you like, what I'm trying to get at here is the first is life itself and the ravages of time, which is brought forth in a remarkably sensitive and touching homage for the love and the bond between Carl and Elie in a set-piece montage in the first half of the movie to a life well lived, full of the spirit of adventure, but also the loneliness and the heartbreak, to a childhood dream, never forgotten, but set back against the trials and the tribulations and the dredging of growing up and witnessing a sad truth in the couple's lives, which Pixar, they capture beautifully and with true respect and admiration. It really is filled with a level of realism and honesty that's not too often seen in many films, pulling at every heartstring. But then all of this is kind of contrasted excellently against the fantastic, if you like, the miraculous, a childhood fantasy. And although, yes, following the serious and the realistic and sometimes really hard-hitting nature of the film's beginning, what then follows, it could seem a bit nonsensical, to be fair, and is indeed silly in places. But for me, this simply adds to the movie's charm. How Carl gets the house to move is epically inspirational and totally moving. Almost like we do have a similar theme to The Wizard of Oz, you know, with Carl leaving his own Kansas behind in the form of the grey, the dull city of skyscrapers kind of being built around him, and indeed going on a wondrously fantastical journey that he could never have imagined in a million years. His own Oz, if you like. The characters themselves are excellently animated and voiced perfectly, with each, including Russell, going on their own emotional journey as well as a geographical one. Carl learns that he has to let go and admire the full life that he and Elie had together. So, okay, they didn't get to quite accomplish their childhood dreams, but many of us very rarely do. But we do still go on quite the adventure along the way, nonetheless, when we look back at all of the moments in our lives. Full lives, regardless of where we actually ended up. And indeed, as Carl finds out in another loving and real tender moment, there are many more adventures to come at any age. Learning that we always have room in our hearts to love again. It might not always be in the form that we want, but it will most certainly be in the form that we need. Russell himself, we learn, has his own story to tell, and the bond and the love that develops between our unlikely pair will totally melt your heart. Overall, this is a simply spellbinding and truly emotional entry from Pixar, bringing us one of their very best, proving yet again that they can bring the unusual and the usual together in such an epic and enthrallingly appealing way. Their magic has been woven into every inch of this movie. With a beautifully presented and lovingly honest depiction of the trials and the tribulations of a couple in love, kind of growing old together, and then with the loss that ensues throughout, and thereafter kind of balanced against a child's sense of wonder an adventure and the fantasy of a rarely visited and unknown place, shrouded in mystery. This is a film for the ages, that will pull and indeed melt your heart from the moment it starts. It is full of the spirit of adventure that, okay, does seem somewhat far-fetched when it gets going, but affectionately so, you know? Sometimes don't we all just wish that we could uproot and go on such an adventure? So, that brings me to the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like. Please do hit that subscribe button for more movie reviews, trailer reactions and other movie-related content. We've absolutely loved having you here at SciFirst MovieTalk. Definitely love to have you back. But most of all, just thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.